What's up, world? Today we're going to be doing a detailed tour of a 2023 Ford F250 XLT. And if you're hanging around to the end of this video, I'll let you know what applications that I feel that this F250 is best suited for. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, go ahead and click that subscribe button, join the community, and as always, let's jump in for another ride. All right, really quick before we dive off into this F250, I need to thank our friends over at Paul Murrey Ford in Kaufman, Texas for allowing us to have access to this F250. So with that, let's get moving. Now, the agate black is an absolute amazing color. It does have a hint of metallic in that black paint, and as you can see, it is super deep because everything that I do has a reflection, so I have to apologize for all the shadows and reflections. It's just part of filming outdoors with absolutely fantastic paint. So with that, as we keep moving around, you can see that this truck is actually equipped with the blackout package. So you can see that that agate black actually continues down the grille and across the wheels and on the pull handles for the doors. So that agate black is absolutely everywhere. And I think this is an amazing look myself. And as we keep going around, just like all F-Series trucks, we had the standard AM/FM antenna. On the exterior of the mirrors, we have the zone lighting. And working our way down from the mirrors, you can see that we have the F250 badging with the XLT. And whatever package you get, obviously if it's going to be a Lariat, Platinum, whatever, it's going to be up there where that XLT badging is. Now around the F250 badging, we do have simulated vents. Now those are not functional, they're just simulated for aesthetic appearance. I think they look great, but again, I just want that to be clarified that they are an appearance package. Now most of the 4x4 or FX4 package trucks are going to come with some sort of a 6-inch wide step. This is obviously the blackout appearance package step, which is going to be the same basic dimensions if you opt for the chrome appearance package on the XLT or Lariat or whatever it may be. Just note that on the 4x4 or FX4s, you are going to get the steps. And you can see the dealer sticker is still up in the window. And this truck, as tested, is $78,360. Now, one of the features that is very different from my time of dealing with Super Duty trucks every single day is some of the features like this step on the side of the bed. I personally think for either a work truck or personal applications, this is an absolute no-brainer, especially from someone that is barely over 5'10", because I've got some buddies that are like 6'3", and I'm always like, hey man, do you mind grabbing that for me? So I think this is an absolute fantastic thing, especially for someone like Colin and I that are always doing outdoor activity, whether it's going out hunting, camping, hiking, whatever. You have all your gear in the back and inevitably whatever is in the middle of the bed. I think this is an absolute fantastic addition, whether it's professional or personal use, whatever it may be. This is an absolute lifesaver for that, big time saver. I really like this step. Now, this truck being optioned with the FX4 and the blackout appearance package is optioned with the blackout appearance wheels. And those wheels are a powder coated black aluminum wheel, and they are in a 20 by 8.5 inch size. And they are actually wrapped in a 275/65/20 all-terrain tire. Now, just behind that passenger side tire, we can tell that this truck is equipped with the optional 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. And the way we can determine that is the 6.7 liter diesel actually gets a specific exhaust system. And we can tell with the cooling on the end of this exhaust that it is equipped with the 6.7 liter Power Stroke. Now, again, as we move around to the back of the F250, again, some of the features that I'm very appreciative of that wasn't around in my days of using F250s and 350s every single day is we have a handhold on the back corner, and we actually have an assist step. So I think this is absolutely fantastic. So that is actually integrated right into the bumper. We have standard LED license plate lights. We have access to our spare tire, and we have the standard 7-pin and 4-pin trailer connect. And all Super Duties do receive the heavy duty receiver hitch. Now, one thing that I do want to note with the 250 and 350 receiver hitches is that the receiver receptacle is much larger in comparison to a 150 or any other class 4 half-ton pickup truck receiver. Now, if you're going to be within your towing capacity, there is a sleeve or an adapter that can go into this, and then your actual hitch mount can go inside of that adapter. So I just want to share that bit of information for anyone that is moving from a half-ton to a 3/4 or 1-ton truck. That way, if you already have towing equipment and you're going to be taking a trip, you can kind of prepare ahead accordingly. Now, this truck is equipped with remote start, so we're just going to make sure that all doors are locked. And then push twice. And additionally, the truck is equipped with the remote tailgate, so we're going to push twice. And for some reason, if we decided that we needed a little bit longer to not take our trip, we would just push twice again. And it shuts the engine down. Now, this truck is equipped with the bed utility package, and so that you can see we have all the measurements on the tailgate. Now this truck is not equipped with the C-clamp assist on the side. Now this truck does have the factory Ford spray and bed liner. It has the box link cargo hold downs, which I really like. And additionally, we have the cargo lighting. And what I like about the Super Duty cargo lighting setup is it just has a rubber coated button over on the side. And you can see that that button activates those LEDs on the side. And in addition, it activates our cargo lights up above the bed. And additionally, one of my favorite features shared with all the F-Series trucks is what I affectionately like to refer to as the peepaw step. So I really think the peepaw step is great. I think you can't go wrong. So I really like the utility of the peepaw step. Now, please note that apparently the tailgate wars are in full effect, as so many in the auto industry like to refer to it as. I don't know how that became a thing, but the tailgate wars are apparently in full swing. And continuing with that bed utility function, we have two 110 volt, 400 watt capable outlets on the passenger side of the bed. So again, I do think the utility of this step is absolutely fantastic, especially in conjunction with the FX4 and this being an F250 with a little bit higher ride height. So I really do enjoy this step. I think it's fantastic. Now, currently in the Ford Super Duty lineup, there's going to be three basic engine options. The first one is going to be the 7.3 liter gasoline engine, making 435 horsepower and 485 foot-pounds of torque. The second is going to be the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel, and that is actually what this one is equipped with. Now, I'm going to say base model, but that base model 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel is going to make 475 horsepower and 1,050 foot-pounds of torque. I would have a hard time saying that's a base model diesel, but that is actually the base model diesel, and that is actually what this is equipped with. Now, your third option is going to be a high output 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. That Power Stroke diesel is going to make 500 horsepower and 1,200 foot-pounds of torque, which is actually incredible when you consider this is a pickup truck. So 1,200 foot-pounds of torque is pretty amazing from this. Now remember, with this 6.7 liter paired with the 10-speed automatic transmission, this thing is absolutely amazingly efficient. Now, this particular truck is equipped with a 331 differential. Now, there are several differential options that are available, all the way down to a 430 gear set. And when mated with this 10-speed automatic transmission, the towing capabilities are absolutely tremendous out of a truck this size. Now that we've covered all the powertrain specifications of this F250, one of the things that I always like to point out whenever I am looking at a full-size truck is ease of owner serviceability. And I'm going to say, with this being a diesel, it is definitely something to consider from the owner, that to go ahead and kind of be thinking ahead, because there's a lot of things that you can do to this truck. Basic oil changes is one of them. The coolant is easy to get to. The dipstick is easy to get to. But when it comes to more complex applications, this is something that you're probably going to want to have a professional technician get involved with. And the reason why I say that is some of the complexities and the more intricate points that is starting to go into the technology of these late model diesel engines really require someone with some true expertise. Just want to throw that out there. Be prepared in the future that if there's any service needs that may be required for something like this down the road, that there is a lot of things that the owner can do. But you may want to turn to somebody like Paul Murrey Ford over in Kaufman, Texas for some assistance with a professional technician. Now, with that being said, this truck is actually equipped with the towing technology package. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out in the 2023 models, that the towing technology package is an option that can be checked off. Now, the 24 models that are coming down the pipe, the towing technology package is not an option on it. But please realize that if you order a 24 model, that towing technology package is already built in to the standard equipment of that F250 or F350 Super Duty. It is not going to be an add-on. It will be standard in the 24 models. So that is a difference that I want to make sure that I point out if you are looking at specific trucks. That way, if you get down and you start looking at options, just please know that that towing technology package is integrated already into the 24 models, but it will be an addition to the 23 models. So with that said, that is basically all the exterior specifications of this 2023 Ford F250. So let's jump inside and see what we have on the inside. I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video. I have to interrupt for just one moment to thank our friends over at Paul Murrey Ford in Kaufman, Texas. PaulMurreyFord.com. Please do me a favor, go check them out for any of your new vehicle needs. Also, they keep an extensive line of used vehicles, and additionally, any Ford parts or service. They keep a full inventory for any of your needs. Please check out Paul Murrey Ford over in Kaufman, Texas. Thank you guys very much for allowing us access to some of these amazing vehicles to share all the new features and technologies that's coming down the pipe in the automotive community. So now back to our regular scheduled program. Now on the interior of the 2023 Ford F250 XLT. Now for my tours and reviews, I personally like to start at the far left of the driver's side area, as that's where the driver is going to be spending the majority of their time in that area. Now you can see over on the left side of the door panel, we have the leather covering and the leather pulls. And I really like the white stitching. For a personal truck, I wouldn't be too concerned about the white stitching. Now, if this truck was used a lot for any sort of a commercial application, I might get a little bit concerned about it, but not too overly concerned because most of the materials in these trucks now is pretty durable and I'm sure it could be cleaned up. And as we work our way down, you can see that we have all of our controls. So rear door windows, front door windows, and we have the push to select, so we can just do the all the way up or all the way down for the window to continually go up and down. Now, just up above that, we're going to have the mirror controls. So this is going to be to adjust the driver's side mirror, passenger side mirror. And then if we go up just above that, this is going to be the auto folding mirrors. And we can see that they are now folded in, which is a great feature with the extendable towing mirrors. And just up above that, you can see that we can control the towing mirror position. So that is all the way extended out, and then we can extend back in. And immediately up above that, we have our power door locks. And as we move down the door, you can see that we have that XLT standard Bang & Olufsen audio system. To the left of the driver's knee, you can see that we have our headlight, fog light controls, the dim for our dash display. Additionally, we have our spotlights for our mirrors on and off. And then over to the right of that, we have our bed and our tailgate controls. As we move up, I really like the silver and chrome accents with the XLT. And just up above that, mounted in the pillars, that Bang & Olufsen system continues. And you can see the center mounted speaker for that Bang & Olufsen system there mounted in the dash. And moving on to our center display, this is going to be specific to the diesel model because this does have that 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. And across the top, you can see that we have digital gauges. So coolant temperature, oil pressure, transmission temperature, fuel level, and those can be custom configured within the menu. And as we start out in the main menu, we can work our way down. We have all of our trip fuel settings and we have economy. And general measurements is just going to be all of your standard gauge clusters, such as engine coolant, transmission temperature, and oil temperature, just as you would have on any other internal combustion engine. Down in diesel measurements, you can see that we have engine brake, turbo boost, everything specific that is going to be applicable to this diesel engine. Auxiliary gauges, so that we can monitor specifically the oil temperature and the battery voltage. We have diesel specific gauges, and what that primarily is going to consist of is the exhaust brake percentage and the turbo PSI. So that is all of our gauge measurements. Down here, we're going to have our off-road settings. So we're going to have power distribution, and we're going to have our roll and pitch, so that if we're on any sort of an incline, we will know it. And you can see that we're on about a 1 degree incline sitting here in this grass area. We go down to our towing settings. Status information is going to be for seat belts, engine information for maintenance, things like that. Navigation. So the navigation will also be in conjunction with your 12-inch productivity screen. We have our phone setting, and as you can see, we have no phone connected because this is a new vehicle. Audio settings, so this is standard audio controls for volume, changing the channel from the steering wheel controls, things like that. And then we have our vehicle maintenance, so tire pressure, oil life, and additionally, specific to the diesels, it's going to be your DEF information and exhaust filter regen. And in settings and configure gauges, this is where I mentioned earlier that we can change those gauges up top from different positions or different gauge readings. And then we have our neutral tow that will actually put the transmission in neutral as desired during coast. And back to main menu. And you can see that this F250 is specifically equipped with the column shift and not the console shift. As we work our way around, you can see that we have the integrated trailer brake. We also have the drive modes, and rolling through the drive modes real quick, you can see that we are in, that's going to place us in normal two-wheel drive. If we go to the left, we go to tow haul mode. We go another to the left, we go to economy. As we work our way back to the right of the menu, we're going to slippery roads. And as you can see, we're now progressing into 4x4, and that is going to give us a different display home screen. As we work our way over to the right again, we're going to go to off-road, and that is actually going to activate our approach angle display on the 12-inch productivity screen, as well as give us a different backdrop on the main menu screen. And as we work our way back to normal, you can see that our productivity is now back to normal, and we are back to our normal gauge mode. And additionally, this truck is equipped with the electronic locking differential, so you have to use the button to activate, and you can see down there in that bottom left corner that the differentials are now locked. And working our way across, you can see that 12-inch productivity screen. Now that 12-inch productivity screen has an absolute load of information in it, and actually would take the majority of this video to go through all the details of that productivity screen. So I will put a link down in the description below, and I will post up a video of all the details of that 12-inch productivity screen. Down below that, you can see that we have all of the HVAC controls and the audio controls. And I do like the fact that Ford still integrates physical knobs and buttons with a lot of their controls. I really like that feature. Down below that, you can see we have a standard USB and a USB-C. We have our telephone holder. One of the things that I think is super cool about the Super Duty options, especially with this console, is the fact that we can switch from a storage bin to 4 cup holders. Another feature that I think is really great about the Ford consoles is the fact that they are lockable. So we can lock up this console, and as you can see, I'm going to hold this up so you can see that this console has an absolute ton of storage in it, and inside of that console is 2 USB-Cs. And we also have a light to illuminate the inside of that console. Sorry about the shadow there, but you can tell that this 2023 Ford F250 does come equipped with the standard XLT cloth interior. Now, I really do like the cloth interior. In fact, my 2016 is equipped with the cloth interior. And I have to say, even just since my 2016, that this cloth interior has come a very long way. But even in my 2016, there is absolutely no signs of wear whatsoever. And that is pretty impressive when you think about cloth interior where it used to be. Just 25 years ago, the cloth interior now is absolutely as durable as anything on the market. You can see up above that we have the Bluetooth speaker for the voice commands. We have the vanity mirrors on the driver's side, vanity mirror on the passenger side. One of the things that I think is fantastic now on Super Duty lineup is the fact that we can get the auxiliary switches. And I remember when those first hit the market, it was really just options for things like the Raptor. But I really think it's awesome that we can get those auxiliary switches on the Super Duty lineup, and I think that's the right place for them, is something like this that really could use that utility. And we have the standard sunglass holder. And then up top, we have our interior lights. And then we have the control for our sliding back glass. And you can see in that console, we had the 2 cup holders up high, which I think is a fantastic change from the prior generation F-150s where the cup holder was down low in the back side of the console. It was just kind of, a trouble to reach. And I think for the rear passengers, this is a great change. As we work our way across the dash, you can see that we have the Super Duty and the silver accent. And we have that standard feature on Super Duties and F-150s with the upper and lower glove compartments. And I really like those upper and lower glove compartments. And in the back, as we flip the seats up, this F250 is equipped with the standard F-Series cargo area in the back. And I think Ford has come a long way with their cargo area. I think for a while there, they were having to play catch up with some of the other full-size truck manufacturers with their cargo space. So I really like where they've come with the rear cargo area. And I like the fact that that rear cargo area just flips down. In the back, you can see that that Bang & Olufsen audio system continues around. Additionally, we have 2 USB-Cs. We have a 12-volt outlet. And we have a 20-amp 120-volt outlet. And there is a good view of that under-seat storage compartment. And additionally, we can see our box-link cargo components that come with this truck for the new owner. And the back side of both front seats have the map pockets integrated. See further access to that storage on the driver's side. And on the rear of the passenger side back seat, we have a pull tab. And that is our spare tire jack and accessories. And you can see each side of the rear seats, we have the integrated coat hangers and the interior lights. And there is a shot of that sliding back glass with the integrated defrost. So one of the things that I really like about Paul Murrey Ford, and it being a small town dealership, is the fact that we can take something like this FX4 package and we can drive through the outskirts of the parking lot in this little off-road area. Now, obviously, we're not going to drive this thing through any sort of treacherous off-road conditions because, well, it's a new truck and someone's expecting to get a really nice truck. But we can kind of take this thing and go through these off-road areas, and we can get a sense of how the suspension is going to act, how the off-road capability is just in basic rough terrain. And then we can come up and kind of jump on the parking lot here, and we can drive these trucks. And I got to tell you that this F250 is an absolutely stunning truck. And it's kind of crazy thinking about the last 350 that I owned. And it was actually a 4x4. And these trucks seem to come factory with a much higher ride height and much more capability than just what was offered 10 years ago. And it's really impressive how far we've come with some of these trucks. Now, the one thing that I would be curious about is comparison fuel mileage when towing with the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel and the base gasoline engine. But I have to tell you, when it comes to towing capability, the one thing that I love about these Power Strokes, and actually I had one of the old versions of the 6.7 liter in my old F350, and one of the things that I really liked was anytime you're on a grade, you don't have to deal with that annoying downshift and looking for a gear. These things are perfectly capable of taking an incline, not looking for a gear, and making it a smooth transition for any sort of elevation changes. Now, I will say, with this being a 250 and the FX4 package, it does have a heavier suspension than a 150 package. So, if this is a truck that you're interested in, please note that you are getting into a 3/4 ton, and the suspension in the ride has come a very long way compared to the old leaf spring trucks. But it's definitely going to have a little more of a heavy duty ride than a 150 by every stretch of the imagination. So I just want to make that 100% transparent that these trucks ride absolutely fantastic, but it's still a 3/4 ton. This is still a workhorse. So if this is something you're interested in, just keep that in the back of your mind that you are getting a full-blown heavy duty truck. This isn't going to be anything for the weekend warrior type of spirit, for sure. That you're going to want to put this thing to work and use it for what it is, whether it's personal, pleasure, professional, whatever it may be. Now, one thing impressive about these trucks is the turning radius for a larger truck is absolutely impressive. So we just cut a U-turn across the parking lot, and it was absolutely no problem to squeeze into a fairly narrow spot. And that is our review and tour of the 2023 Ford F250 XLT with the blackout appearance package. And really quick, I got to thank our friends over at Paul Murrey Ford in Kaufman, Texas for allowing us access to this beautiful 2023 Ford F250. If you're in the market for a new Ford, Paul Murrey Ford in Kaufman, Texas is definitely your source. They also have a full service and parts department, so please look up Paul Murrey Ford in Kaufman, Texas. I'll put a link down in the description below. And you know, I got to ask, if you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the bell notification, hit that subscribe button, and as always, jump in for another ride.